Hotline now, 256-576-4977. That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Scott and Drew.
Hi, good morning. Welcome in. Another brand new live edition. Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN, The Zone. Scott Theisen and Drew DeArmond. We're going to hold court until 9 a.m. this morning on what will be another steamy, warm day in the Tennessee Valley. In fact, it's already, my thing says already 78 degrees at 7 o'clock this morning. By 11 a.m., they're expected to hit 92 degrees. So if you're outside doing any kind of workouts, if you're outside getting ready for the new year, the new season, whatever you're doing, hydrate, stay cool, and try not to overexert yourself there in the heat because
then get back inside quickly.
Yeah, just take
relax.
It easy and cool down for a little bit.
Because last night it was about 9 o'clock. Looked at my phone. I think they said it was still 81, and there was a heat advisory.
Yeah, it's only going to get warmer from here. The next 10 days. It's only going to get a little warmer, so just take it easy.
The humidity,
out there.
everybody.
Yeah, don't push yourself. I know we have a lot of guys, a lot of kids that are trying to get those football workouts in because, we're getting ready. In another month or so, we're going to see, because about the end of July, if high school teams did not take that summer practice or the spring practice,
right?
They can start
the new
practices a couple weeks sooner.
Yeah.
So another couple weeks, we're going to be about a month away from a lot of these schools getting back actually to high school football practice. I know we just started the summer, but it's on the horizon, and I know kids are putting in the off-season workouts right now for baseball. They're doing it for football. You got travel baseball, travel softball, you got soccer, you got lacrosse, you got all the good stuff going on outside. Just take it easy. Don't push yourself there in the heat. Make sure you hydrate as well. Don't try to drink a bunch of water today to hydrate for today. Drink a bunch of water today to hydrate for tomorrow and Friday and Saturday, so you stay hydrated.
Well, it was a grind yesterday. We know we had Christian Swears on the show to promote the Big Red Summer Jam, the annual summer basketball tournament. I'm just going to give a shout-out to Luther Tiggs and Bob Jones. Speaking of hydrating and a grind, playing 4 games in a day. And Scott, we understand the summer games are faster paced. They don't stop the clock.
Not, right.
Yeah, it's not like a regulation game. But still playing 4 times in one day is unusual. Usually doesn't happen. But it happened because Bob Jones was able to continue to advance in the tournament. Certainly, it was a great event over there yesterday. Huntsville High, Austin, and then Buckhorn and Bob Jones were your final 4. Of course, Patrick Harding, great friend of ours. And in 2 close games, 29-26, Bob Jones advanced to the championship game. Huntsville 37-31 over Austin. But the Bob Jones Patriots win it 37-35 after they had a war with Huntsville, 41-38. Huntsville win in Tuscaloosa last week. But summer basketball rolling on, so it sounds like they had a great event over there over at Huntsville. A lot of people, as you just pointed out at the start of our segment, getting in the gym and staying out of the heat, but still hopefully hydrating and everything. But some great events over there. And now UNA will be having a team camp today. I'll be headed over there with Huntsville High. So looking forward to that and seeing some great basketball. Saw some great basketball over at Supreme Course at Guntersville yesterday as well. Jack Dawson's Grissom Tigers looking very strong. They went 3-0 on the day. Plainview Bears led by Robbie Coker, great friend of ours. They've got a really nice squad, and it was really packed over there. Tyler Davis and Mountain Brook were over there as well and had a lot of great conversations. And, so that's what we're going to continue to cover, the summer basketball events and these teams grinding. And as Scott said, before you know it, football practice will be here. And, Scott,
man,
here's the shocker, man. I mean, we're just maybe a month and 4 days away, 3 or 4 days from SEC Media Days. That's crazy.
Yeah. It is quickly approaching as SEC Media Days. And we're going to preview more of that as we get closer to July. Again, we will be in Atlanta for SEC Media Days, July 18th, 19th, 20th, and the 21st. So we're just about a month away from all of that. And before you know it, we're going to be talking about college football week by week, the chaos that could develop each week within college football. And CBS Sports says, hey, guys, when you circle your calendars, circle these weeks in college football because these are going to be the most chaotic weeks to watch college football. Week 13, November 26th, they say, is the number one chaos week for college football because you'll have Baylor at Texas, Michigan at Ohio State, Auburn at Alabama, Notre Dame at USC, and LSU at Texas A&M. That's the number one week there. And they say,
go Tigers.
They say, don't forget, it does begin with the Egg Bowl, Ole Miss versus Mississippi State on Thursday. But it could be the most chaotic week in college football. The second one, they say, is week 11, November 12th. That'll see TCU at Texas, Georgia at Mississippi State. Is that a sneaky ball game there?
I mean, potentially, because Coach Leach, his teams can definitely kind of fly under the radar. We remember, Dirt Neck lost to him last year at home.
Alabama at Ole Miss is week 11. LSU at Arkansas, and Washington at Oregon. So that is why they're saying week 11 in college football. At Alabama at Ole Miss, I think the first thing that people are going to think about is Alabama's last trip to Ole Miss, and we should erase that memory, right?
Well, we don't know what Lane Kiffin's going to do. I mean, you know, he may go for it on every fourth down. Who knows? I mean, I thought he coached a really stupid game last year against Alabama. First, I mean, he said get your popcorn ready before kickoff. Whenever you do that, I mean, it just like when Coach Rick was at Georgia. I have a lot of respect for Coach Rick, but they started dancing on their own logo and taunting Alabama and dancing around. You're dead. I mean, if you start doing that and you know, and talking or taunting Alabama, you're going to get smacked. And that's just basically what happens. It's throughout Nick Saban's tenure, if you've watched it, teams that talk and flap their traps and everything like that, or you know, dance around, you know, they're going to get smoked. So I didn't think that Lane coached a very smart game against Alabama. I thought he took too many chances.
Right.
But again, it is what it is. I'm going to be anxious to see his team because they've got 17, you know, portal transfers. So you really don't know. They're kind of the wild card of the SEC West because you don't know how good they're going to be. I think Jackson Dart will be the quarterback, but who knows? I mean, you know, Luke Altmaier could win that job. He played in the bowl game, didn't play well, but he had to come in unexpectedly. So
yeah, while you were gone, we talked some Ole Miss. We had, I believe, David Johnson, and he said, and he told us on this show that Jackson Dart has not picked up the offense very well at Ole Miss, and he's been a little slow.
And David's very, very sharp guy.
And then he was like, he's kind of struggled a little bit. So, if something has to happen over the summer for him to progress to be the starting quarterback at Ole Miss, he said, don't pencil him in to be the starter. Things haven't progressed as fast as they thought maybe over there in Ole Miss. That's week 6 in the college football. Oh, no, my bad. Week 6 is the third best week, they say, for chaos in all of college football, and that's October 8th.
Yeah.
Ohio State's at Michigan State.
Mm-hmm.
That's an interesting one there.
Well, Mel Tucker's done a good job there. I mean, he's absolutely, rebuilt that program quickly. The portal's had a lot to do with it, but, you know, I think he's done an outstanding job. It's been interesting because, again, he left Colorado to come over there as he's become a head coach, and with what he's done, I mean, Michigan State's made a huge financial commitment to him. I believe he's making $9.5 million a year, highest paid Michigan State coach in history. So we'll see how they continue to improve. I mean,
this could be one of the best days of viewing for college football all season, October 8th. Because you have Ohio State and Michigan State, which is going to be a great one. You're going to have Texas versus Oklahoma. That'll be, Fox's 11 a.m., or you presume that'll be an early kickoff. Then you have Auburn at Georgia in the afternoon. I'm pretty sure that one's probably going to be in the afternoon, I would imagine.
2:30.
Yeah, because the nightcap is Texas A&M at Alabama. Mm-hmm. That is the nightcap of the day. You got North Carolina at Miami. They throw that one in there for chaos possibilities. I don't know why, but that's your October 8th, third best week for chaos.
Well, I'm just hoping it's Alabama 65 and Texas A&M nothing. That's basically what I'm going to be hoping for. And Bryce Young throw for about 500 yards and 7 touchdowns. And stake early claim to the Heisman lead against Dirt Neck. That's what Texas A&M basically deserves. And then they'll probably, but then Jimbo and Ross Bjork will probably call the SEC office and want the rules changed or something, saying that Coach Saban's not showing enough mercy to them,
running up the score
because
unsportsmanlike.
Basically all Texas A&M does is whine anyway. I mean, that's the way they want somebody to award them a national championship. They probably feel like they deserve a gold trophy for paying for their recruiting class and getting the highest rated recruiting class ever. So they probably
participation trophy.
Yeah, well, SEC. I mean, just so there's something they can put in their building. They don't have anything else except for swimming trophies and whatever the hell else it was, or that recruit saw. He's like, where are all the football trophies at? They ain't got many. Go find the old Southwest Conference ones and dust them off.
Another week they say watch for chaos is week 5, October 1st. Oklahoma State is at Baylor. That could be an interesting ball game. Texas A&M at Mississippi State. There you go.
2-game winning streak. 1st. Let's go Pirate.
LSU's at Auburn on October 1st. That could be an interesting ball game. Alabama's at Arkansas on October 1st.
Yeah, and Arkansas's got a tough schedule to start. And they play Luke Fickell in Cincinnati, I believe, at home the first game. So that's going to be interesting. They've got and they also the week before Alabama, I think they play Dirt Neck at probably, I guess, at Jerry World.
Well, yeah, because this is, believe it or not, October 1st will be Texas A&M's first true road game of the season. Because the Arkansas game is a neutral site game.
Yeah.
So this is October 1st is their first true road game of the season.
Yeah.
For Texas A&M.
Yeah.
And then you got Alabama at Arkansas. That could be interesting. Sam Pittman, we saw what happened last year to Texas. I mean, Texas was not very good, but we saw Texas go into Arkansas and struggle last year.
Well, and remember what Jake Crane told us last week. Of course, he's co-host of Crane and Company, outstanding national show there. But he told us that he felt like Sam Pittman in Arkansas had a chance to go 10-2 and finish second in the SEC West. If we see the prerequisite improvement from KJ Jefferson at quarterback with all his experience and also having his coordinator Kendall Briles back, I do think there is a chance that could happen. I mean, I said it on social media the other day, on Instagram, I think it was, and I just commented. I think it was a Brandon Marcello comment. We've had Brandon on several times from 24/7 Sports, national college football analyst, and I just said, he made that statement, and I agreed with him. Of course, some clown laughed at me, but I mean, I still think they've got a chance to be good. I mean, we'll see. I mean, a lot of it's gonna depend on that first month and getting off to a good start. But I do think Arkansas, and I do think Sam Pittman being able to, for the most part, hold his staff together, has been huge as well. Barry Odom and Briles back.
All right, so they throw week 1 in here as well as a potential week, and there's a couple games in here that I want to mention. Number 1 is they have Oregon versus Georgia on here. They also have Notre Dame at Ohio State, Utah at Florida, and Florida State versus LSU. So Brian Kelly in week 1 on September 3rd will open up with Florida State. Mike Norvell needs a good showing in this one, right? but Brian Kelly is making his LSU debut.
Yeah, I mean,
you look at it, I don't want to say it's more important for Brian Kelly to win it, but it is because he wants to get his LSU career off to a great start. But Mike Norvell needs a signature win in a lot of ways at Florida State.
It's much more important for Norvell. They're not going to fire Brian Kelly in year one unless they go 0-12, and they're not going to do that, because Mike Norvell, he's still cleaning up Dirt Neck's mess because he basically ruined the program because he sucks.
You're going to work that in many times as you can with any angle.
I hate Jimbo Fisher, okay? He is a piece of trash. I'm going to just put that on the record. Don't like the guy. I never will. I've never liked him. He totally screwed Florida State when he left because he had decided about halfway through the season he was going to go. He couldn't get, quote-unquote, a commitment from the administration, whatever, but he ran the program into the ground. He can complain about, facilities and all that stuff, but he ran the program into the ground. And except for those 2 years in 13 and 14, he's been completely mediocre, and he's stealing money from Texas A&M. That's basically what he's doing. He's had one good year at A&M. That's it. Last year stunk, and hopefully it'll stink again. The guy is completely overrated. He's terrible.
All right, so that is that one there on September 3rd. Another one, can you believe this? How about this? North Carolina is making a trip to Appalachian State on the 3rd of September. That could be a very tricky one.
Oh, it is. They're a very good group of 5 program. I mean, I've seen them almost win in Knoxville.
Yeah.
When the champion of life was coaching.
But now North Carolina has to go to Appalachian State.
Yeah.
That's going to be a tough one for Mac Brown and company. All right, coming up here in just a few minutes, John Summerall, Troy head coach, is going to join us. The Trojans are coming to Huntsville. We'll explain when and where you can see them coming up in a little bit, but John Summerall going to get ready to join the program as we talk to him. Just going down this list some more. Well, we'll go over it the rest of the show as well. We'll spread them all out, but John Summerall going to join the program coming up next.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A mostly sunny sky this afternoon. Once again, temperatures climbing into the mid and upper 90s. Heat indices somewhere between 105 and 110 degrees. Be incredibly mindful if you are out and about today and you do have to spend a prolonged period of time outside. Make sure to stay hydrated. An isolated shower certainly can't be ruled out across the Tennessee Valley. The best chance for that is going to be across northeast Alabama. Temperatures dropping into the mid-70s as we head into the overnight. A mostly sunny sky for your Thursday. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
McCurry Motors is your car and van rental headquarters. You can rent the vehicle you need today. Family in town, sporting event, church function, no matter what your need, McCurry Motors has you covered with a wide selection of cars and vans available for rent. They have 12-passenger Mercedes Sprinter vans, 12-passenger Ford Transit vans, 15-passenger Ford Transit vans, and 15-passenger Chevrolet Express vans. They have 2 locations, Highway 72 in Athens or Max Luther Drive in Huntsville.
What's better than Valley Equipment Rental? 2 Valley Equipment Rentals, and that's just what we have now. The original on the South Memorial Parkway between Drake and Airport Road, and their second location on North Memorial Parkway just north of Winchester Road. Valley Equipment is locally owned and has more skid steers, excavators, and lifts than anyone in the area, plus all the small tools that you need to get the job done like a pro. And if you are a pro, you need to check out the new North location now because Valley Equipment has what you need. Learn more at valleyequipmentrents.com.
You want the right specialist for your recovery. At SportsMed Orthopedic Surgery and Spine Center, we understand every body is different. Your muscles and bones are unique, as is your body. Our SportsMed specialists offer innovative treatments and minimally invasive procedures, allowing you to quickly return to the life you love. Locations in Huntsville, Madison, Athens, and Decatur, and on the web at sportsmedalabama.com. Improving performance, improving lives.
This is Wes Neighbors talking to Chris Haygood of Bob Wallace Appliance. Chris, what sets you apart from other appliance dealerships?
Wes, these appliances are going into the most used room in your house, your kitchen. The way we have these appliances displayed, it's easy for you to visualize how they'll look in your home. Wes, what sets us apart is the people. They're well trained. In fact, they live and breathe these appliances. And if you need service, you'll really appreciate our parts department.
Contact Bob Wallace Appliance at 256-533-2121.
Hi, my name is Dan Aldridge. I'm here to let you know about the Aldridge Law Firm and the soon-to-be-announced Legal Town Center. I've been practicing law in Alabama since 1984, and I also practice in Tennessee. And I'm from North Alabama, and I'm here to represent you and take care of your legal needs. For many of us, hiring an attorney is not high on the priority list, and maybe a little scary. But it's something that we all need at some point. So by all means, do your homework. And if you need representation for car accident, wrongful death, medical malpractice, nursing home abuse, or estate planning, or any other matter, just give us a call at 256-534-3188. And you can email me at Dan@danaldridgelaw.com. Dan@danaldridgelaw.com. God bless America.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
Bring that playoff intensity every day to our shows.
Bring it on, Chop. Let's go.
Okay, maybe just for Drew DeArmond.
Ding, me.
Listen for Talkin' Ball with Scott Tyson and Drew. Weekday mornings starting at 7 on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
This is Paul Feinbaum. Listen to me coming up today at 2. Now back to Talking Ball with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
All right, welcome back to Talking Ball. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone. Scott Tyson, Drew DeArmond with you here this morning, and coming up here in just a little bit, we're going to be joined by Troy Trojan head coach John Summerall as what they're calling it is called the Trojan Tour 2022, and they are making stops all across the South. In fact, it started on May 14th at Troy. And there'll be stops going on all across the South. So far, the Trojan Tour has stopped in Dothan, Greenville, Alabama, Phoenix City, and coming up in another day, it's going to be in Pensacola. And then on Saturday, the Trojan Tour will make a stop in Birmingham in the afternoon. And then at 6:30, they will be at Baumhauer's Victory Grill in Huntsville. It'll have head football coach John Summerall, men's basketball head coach Scott Cross, women's basketball head coach Chandra Rigby, as well as director of athletics Brent Jones. And that does include, again, right here from our area, John Summerall will be in Huntsville.
Yes, he will at Baumhauer's. We're very excited about that for this Trojan football tour, really Trojan athletics tour. We've had Coach Summerall on the program. We've had Scott Cross on the program as well because he's recruited the state of Alabama extremely well, turning that basketball program around, that men's program. It's going to be awesome to have all of the Trojan athletic department with us on Saturday, as you said, on Saturday evening at Baumhauer's, one of our great sponsors, Baumhauer's Victory Grill on ESPN 97.7 The Zone. And now we're going to go out to the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline for our next guest, and that is Troy Trojan's first-year head coach, John Summerall. We had him on the show during spring practice and talked a little bit of Trojan football. And now, as off-season workouts are cranking and underway and the Trojans continue to add pieces to this roster, we're going to talk some Trojan football right now. Coach, welcome back to your hometown of Huntsville, Alabama. You're with Drew and Scott. How are you?
Drew, Scott, I'm great, man. I appreciate y'all having me today. Excited to get to Huntsville on Saturday evening and see a bunch of friends and familiar faces, man. But thanks for having me this morning.
Yeah, busy few weeks for you. You're in Pensacola tomorrow? Gonna watch a little Blue Wahoo baseball.
Yeah, we're actually I'm leaving here after we got a workout this morning with the team in about 20 minutes, and then I'm going down to Mobile to see some people, maybe not alumni related, but more just out in the community. And then after that, tomorrow we'll be at Pensacola, and then Saturday at noon, as you guys said, we'll be in Birmingham at Dread River, and then Saturday night, Baumhauer. So it's nonstop. My kids are probably more excited about going to the Blue Wahoos than I am. I got an 8-year-old son that loves baseball, so he's pretty fired up.
No question about it. And, Coach, as I kind of hinted at, you guys, you're still adding to your roster because that's just the way it is now with the transfer portal. You can still sign junior college prospects, so you're still adding pieces to this team that you will be able to, of course, see on the field with you. They'll be going through enrolling in school and going through off-season workouts, but you'll see them in practice before we know it. Really, it's right around the corner, just probably a little over a month and a half away. But still adding pieces to this roster for the Trojans.
Yeah, it never stops, really. Recruiting is constant. It is a little bit different from the standpoint. Recruiting has always been 24/7, but a lot of times at this point it's already shifted towards the 23 class. We're currently still in the situation where we're looking to add a few pieces for our 2022 team, and it's not a wholesale shift of who all we're trying to add. We're just trying to supplement our roster and maybe add a frontline player at a position or two, and then add some depth as well. So we're not a complete roster at the moment, but we're pretty close. I mean, 90-something% of who we're going to play is already here, but there will be a handful of pieces that are on visits next week, and hopefully in school a week or two after that.
The first time we got a hold of you was right after you were introduced as head coach, and you were getting ready for spring. How did spring finish in your mind?
Yeah, I think it started with the defense well ahead of the offense, and that's normal regardless of new coaching staff or not a lot of times. But where we were, we're really trying to establish a new identity on offense and create a new culture of how we're doing things. And so I think it took a little time for some of that to gel. By practice 10, 11, 12, the offense was getting their fair share of the explosive plays. And so we are very experienced on defense, return a lot of quality players, high-end players in this league. And offensively, we got a lot of good pieces coming back. But I think the biggest transition and shift there has been we're trying to play the game in a unique style, maybe a little bit different than what's been going on here in the past.
No doubt, and kind of talk about that style a little bit. Coach, you're not going to give away your game plans and things of that nature, but talk about the different style and your stamp on Troy football.
Well, our O-line coach came from the New England Patriots. He was there for 7 years. He was the O-line coach the last couple of years there, Cole Popovich. So you've got some of the pro-style protection elements. Our offensive coordinator, quarterbacks coach, Joe Craddock, has been around a couple of different systems. Joe's background, Joe's from Birmingham, Alabama, and Joe has been at Clemson with Dabo Swinney, and then was Chad Morris's offensive coordinator at SMU, and they had a big turnaround. They went from being one of the worst teams in the history in the country in college football to one of the best. And they went to Arkansas in a year and a half. They got the plug pulled, and so maybe didn't get the full run of having an opportunity to flip that team. But Joe then went to UAB the last couple of years and has been a great addition to our staff. So those two guys really put it together. We're going to have enough college spread elements, but at the end of the day, we're going to hang our hat on running the football and being physical and being tough and playing the game and in a mindset where we're going to run the ball downhill, and we'll create explosive pass plays off our run game to a certain extent, but we want to control the football and run the football well.
Well, Coach, did you kind of get used to having to pay attention to both the offensive and the defensive side of the football as a head coach in the spring?
Yeah, I did. I think the higher you get in the game, the last few years at Kentucky, hadn't been my job to critique the offense, but I've watched what they're doing when I've been going against them and taking great detailed notes on what we see every day against our defensive stuff. But now, probably the most unique part is, I get to cheer when the offense scores in practice. And so in the past, when the offense scored in practice, I was usually not very happy. And so now there's some give and take with that. And then so the biggest adjustment's been being able to celebrate offensive success in practice. And probably the other big adjustment is during individual periods, I'm not coaching a position, I'm coaching the whole team. And so I am constantly going around evaluating, encouraging, teaching every position group now. And so that's probably the other big adjustment for me.
No question, Coach. And I know I wanted to ask you, we just kind of referenced it a little bit when we were talking earlier. But now that they're signed, you can comment on them officially. But a couple of the pieces in the last few days that have been added, I wanted to ask you about Ventura JC wide receiver Mark Farrell. What are your thoughts on him, and what kind of impact can he make on your team? I know you haven't seen him practice yet, but I know you evaluated him. What are your thoughts on that young man?
Yeah, well, the NCAA rules allow us to have 2 hours a week of football with our guys. And so I've been able to see him run routes and do a few things the last week or so. Mark has great length. He's all of 6'4", and he runs good routes for a long guy. He's in and out of breaks easier than some long guys. Some long guys, struggle with some stiffness maybe or some change of direction, flexibility issues. Mark is really pretty fluid. He's got to continue to work on his strength so he can play bigger and faster all the time. But he is going to be a good addition. I think this summer, the next 5-6 weeks, are going to be huge for his own personal development from a physical standpoint, and then mentally just jumping in that playbook and learn as much as he can to be ready to go. But he will provide a lengthy receiver that can make plays on 50-50 balls down the field in the air.
Yeah, and then you added a quarterback, Peter Costelli from Utah. Talk about maybe that QB competition after spring and adding this young man to the mix to compete in fall camp, Coach.
Yeah, Peter's been a good addition. Obviously, Gunnar Watson he was a starting quarterback half of last season and started in 2020. So Gunnar's our most experienced returner. But Peter has great physical traits. He's a big kid. He's almost 6'3". He's about 225 pounds. In high school, Peter ran a 10.8 in the 100 as a sophomore, which is rolling.
Wow.
And then as a junior, his track season got canceled. And then he enrolled early at Utah, so he didn't run track as a senior. But he's got real speed. I mean, he runs more like a receiver maybe than a quarterback in some regards. So very athletic kid, very smart, conscientious. I think he's going to have a great experience here, a great opportunity to earn playing time, and just excited to see where that goes. But those two guys are in that room. And the other two guys right now, they're scholarship players in the room. Quade Hawkins from Bainbridge, Georgia. Quade has a rocket of an arm, and he went through spring ball with us. And then Tucker Kilcrease from Brantley, Alabama, is a young man that's going to be a true freshman. I think he's got a big upside as well.
Well, Coach, again, we are talking to Troy head football coach John Summerall. The Trojan Tour making their way here to the Rocket City. They'll be here on Saturday at Baumhauer's Victory Grill at 6:30. Coach, how fun is this? How important is this for you guys for Troy to hit the road, to get the exposure, to get out there and meet some of the fans?
Yeah, Scott, I think it's always good when we always welcome people around campus all the time to watch us play in person and experience what we do. But it's nice for us to really get off our turf and get on other folks' turf and support Troy athletics and just spend time with them and let them see our authentic, genuine vision for what we're doing and how we care about young people's lives. And so for us, it's a great experience to connect, engage with our fan base off our campus and maybe in a little bit more relaxed environment than what game day creates at times. But so it'll be it's been fun so far to get to the stops we've gotten to. Pensacola will be fun Thursday night, but obviously for me, Saturday night will be a fun one because being back home, my mom and dad will be there, my in-laws will be there, my brother's driving over from Atlanta. It's Father's Day weekend, so for us, it's going to be a little bit of a family affair. I don't know how many other people will be there, but I know there'll be a lot of Summeralls there.
We would expect that, Coach. So everybody's excited and for your opportunity and how you've earned everything in your career and grinded and gotten this chance. we're super excited for your first year at Troy, and I was just checking it out, and awesome, a little bit of some national TV, pretty much. SEC Network 3:00 kickoff for your debut on September the 3rd at Ole Miss.
Yeah, we don't ease into the season schedule-wise. You go game one playing Lane Kiffin and Ole Miss and what they've been doing offensively and how explosive they are. We're gonna get a great challenge and a great test right out of the gate. We're excited about that opportunity. You know, you want to play in big-time games and big-time environments, and that's going to be a very special situation for our young men to play in and for our coaching staff to get to coach in. And we look forward to the challenge. They're very talented, and we have our work cut out for us, but we're going to do everything we can to work our tails off and be prepared and be ready.
Mm-hmm, absolutely. And then, as we've already talked, your first home game, how ironic and how I think it's poetic. You're going to, at 6 o'clock, face the Alabama A&M Bulldogs the next week, 6 p.m. So that'll be emotional, too. I mean, you're playing a school from your hometown.
Yeah, playing A&M will be great. I think I told you guys in the past when I was a high school kid, I'd drive to Lewis Crew Stadium and run the stadium steps in the
Absolutely, yeah.
And so for me, that is going to be a special opportunity because that's still a hometown team that I grew up watching as a child, and they've done a really good job. They've taken, talk about transfers, man. They've changed their roster this offseason, so we've got to be ready for a lot of difference makers on their roster that are new. That will not be an easy game by any stretch of the imagination. We've got a lot of work to do there to get ready for them because they got so many new faces that we've got to figure out who's wearing what jersey going into that game.
All right, again, Trojan Tour hits the Rocket City on Saturday, June 18th, this coming Saturday. Baumhauer's Victory Grill, 6:30. Athletics Director Brent Jones, John Summerall, Scott Cross, and Chandra Rigby all will be with them on the tour stop. A good chance to come and talk Troy athletics, not just football, but Troy athletics.
No doubt. It'll be fun to be there with Scott and Shanda and Brent as well. So we're excited to see everybody.
Are they relying on you? I mean, I know you're going to be at Baumhauer's. Some good food, by the way, but
right.
are they kind of relying on you for this Huntsville stop?
I think they're relying on me for a lot of them, but Huntsville, without question. I think they really put the pressure on me to have some people show up. So it's going to be an indictment on my friendships there if a lot of people don't show
up. I think the place will be packed. I'm hoping to make my way over there as well, Coach. I haven't been able to see you and meet you in person since you got the job. I'd like to congratulate you in person. And, again, we're just really excited about it. We hope to see you maybe later in the summer as well. We're super excited here in Huntsville about Troy football and your opportunity to put your stamp on this program. But we know it's busy. We know you're about to have a team workout, as you said, before you guys head over to Pensacola. But appreciate the time, man, and I hope the off-season work continues to go well. No injuries. You guys are going to get ready for fall camp before we know it. But we really appreciate the time and safe travels on the road. And, of course, we look forward to seeing you in Huntsville on Saturday night, sir.
Drew, Scott, appreciate you guys. I'll see y'all Saturday.
All right, thanks. That was Troy head football coach John Summerall. Again, he will be in town with the Troy tour, the Trojan Tour. That'll be Saturday at Baumhauer's Victory Grill, 6:30. So get on out there and see one of Huntsville's finest athletes to come through the area. Former Grissom Tiger John Summerall, now head coach at Troy. That is going to be a fun night. And he's right. I mean, Troy's not going to get to play a game here in Huntsville. I mean, there's no way you can schedule a game to come back here to play because you're not going to play A&M at Lewis Crews anymore. But this is going to be fun for him.
It's just because of the size of the stadium. I mean, because of the D1 situations and things of that nature. It's going to be very difficult. There's not a stadium located in the vicinity where you can. It's not like Troy Trojan baseball could come here and play at Toyota Field.
Right.
Basketball, Scott Cross, they could play at the VBC, but it's just we're not going to see John Summerall's football team very likely in the Rocket City. But seeing him here, that's big. And you have to understand, this is a guy that played for Ronnie Massey, the late Ronnie Massey, outstanding coach, helped Grissom football reach the semifinals where they lost to the Hoover Bucks. This was a great football team that he played on. He had a great career for the Grissom Tigers. He went on to play for Rich Brooks at Kentucky and become an outstanding linebacker for them, and a guy that got on the field in the SEC and was a starter and played a lot of football, and then began his career as a GA and then just worked his way up, Scott, and to be a head football coach of an institution in our state, one that's had success on the Division I level. It's just very exciting for him to get this opportunity. He did a great job rising the assistant coach ladder. He was at Troy with Neil Brown, who is now at West Virginia, and did an outstanding job. And then, of course, he also worked at Ole Miss and then went back to his alma mater at Kentucky and helped Mark Stoops, have a couple of 10-win seasons. I mean, this is a guy that, when this job came open again, when Chip Lindsey was unfortunately let go, I remember telling you, I thought this was John Summerall's chance because a couple years before that, I mean, the inside word seemed to be that he finished in the top 2 or 3 and nearly got the job before Chip Lindsey did. So it's an administration, that was very familiar with John, with what he did as an assistant coach defensively there, and is giving him an opportunity to be a head football coach. And Troy has good facilities. They have commitment. And I think he can win there, and very excited to see what happens and what the stamp he puts on the program.
All right, let's get that break in when we come back and wrap up Hour 1. Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A mostly sunny sky this afternoon. Once again, temperatures climbing into the mid and upper 90s. Heat indices somewhere between 105 and 110 degrees. Be incredibly mindful if you are out and about today and you do have to spend a prolonged period of time outside. Make sure to stay hydrated. An isolated shower certainly can't be ruled out across the Tennessee Valley. The best chance for that is going to be across northeast Alabama. Temperatures dropping into the mid 70s as we head into the overnight. A mostly sunny sky for your Thursday. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
The world champs are back. The Braves are out to defend their world championship. And behind Matt Olson, Ronald Acuna, Dansby Swanson, Max Fried, and this loaded 2022 roster, a repeat is within reach.
There goes Ozzie, 2-2 on the way, hit well. Deep center field. Might have ourselves a tie ball game. You betcha.
And we'll bring you every huge moment of the Braves 2022 season right here on the Atlanta Braves Radio Network.
When you call most roofing companies, all you'll hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming. At Fleming Roofing and Restoration, we're focused on your needs, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement. Folks around here have trusted Fleming since 1965 for all their residential and commercial roofing needs. And as the area's storm damage experts, Fleming knows all the ins and outs of the insurance claims process. Log on FlemingHSV.com to schedule your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
I'm attorney Gary Lackey. You know, you'll hear people say we're like a family, but here at the Lackey Law Firm, that's really true, not just a saying.
I'm Justin Lackey. With my father and my sister, we have a special connection to each other.
I'm Jennifer Lackey. At the Lackey Law Firm, when we take on your case, you become part of our family. You really do.
And we'll always do whatever it takes to get everything you deserve.
If you're injured, you worry about getting well, not about paperwork or insurance companies or figuring out how to get to your lawyer's office. I'll come to you.
We worry about your case so you don't have to.
When you've been injured, we know that your case is probably the biggest thing going on in your life. More important than almost anything else.
And it's important to us too, for one simple reason. Family takes care of each other, and at the Lackey Law Firm, we'll take care of you.
The Lackey Law Firm. The Lackey Law Family. 1-800-4-RIGHTS.
No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
Whoa, Greg's up.
He's never up this early.
Hey, guys. Okay, so this is called the Bell Breakfast Box from Taco Bell. Oh, thanks. I can read.
And that's a coffee. Helps you open your eyes.
And that's a breakfast burrito. You can start from either end.
You guys always this condescending in the morning?
Pretty much.
Wake up with the new $5 Bell Breakfast Box, filled with a grande toasted breakfast burrito, hash brown, 2 Cinnabon Delights, and a coffee. At limited participating Taco Bell locations near you during breakfast hours only. Contact local store for prices, hours, and participation, which vary. Tax extra. Drinks excludes freezes.
Tom Luganbill here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
This is Wes Neighbors talking to Chris Haygood of Bob Wallace Appliance. Chris, what sets you apart from other appliance dealerships?
Wes, these appliances are going into the most used room in your house, your kitchen. The way we have these appliances displayed, it's easy for you to visualize how they'll look in your home. Wes, what sets us apart is the people. They're well trained. In fact, they live and breathe these appliances. And if you need service, you'll really appreciate our parts department.
Contact Bob Wallace Appliance at 256-533-2121.
Ann Adams with Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate is the one name to know if you're buying or selling real estate. With years of local experience, Ann Adams offers buyers in-depth knowledge of the local housing market and will narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in so you can save time when shopping for your new home. If you're ready to sell, Ann offers a seamless process using accurate pricing and expert negotiation skills to make sure you get a fair price for your home. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or log on bhhsriserealestate.com.
This segment of Talkin' Ball is brought to you by University Kia, the #1 volume Kia dealer in the state of Alabama. Located online at universitykia.com.
Hi, welcome back. Talking Ball 97.7 ESPN The Zone, 7:49 on a Wednesday morning. We've made it through the midpoint of the week. At least we have made it through the midpoint of the week.
Yeah.
We're about done with our halfway point. Anyway, 256-576-4977. That is the number to the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. And you can get in on the conversations this morning so far. That was a good one with John Summerall. That was fun.
Yeah, it was. It's always great to catch up with Coach. I know he's been busy. He's trying to, put the pieces in place for year one of Troy football. And before we know it, it'll be September the 3rd. And we'll be talking about that Ole Miss matchup, Scott. We'll be previewing it that week. Hopefully we can get Coach on the show. And as we said, hopefully we can catch up with him later this summer as well. We look forward to that debut. It's a great opportunity to make a statement against a team at Ole Miss that's got 17 portal transfers. And as he talked about, his first home game the next week against Alabama A&M. And they're going to have a much different roster as well. Because they've, and Akil Glass has moved on, who had a great run, at QB for them. So they're going to have some new pieces.
They've gone through the transfer portal as well. They have used the transfer portal a lot up there on the hill at Alabama A&M. All right, some questions. Brad Crawford says we need answered going into and during the 2022 football season for the SEC. Questions that we need answers to. He says, will Spencer Rattler be South Carolina's savior?
Savior?
Savior. That's the word that he uses. Will Spencer Rattler be South Carolina's savior?
I mean, I'm not ready to say he's going to be a Heisman candidate because I think he's been overrated from the jump. I mean, he lost the job at Oklahoma because he didn't play well enough in big games. But can he be an improvement?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
How much does he have to improve his reputation, though? Because did we, and I say we, not you and I, but did we as media build up Spencer Rattler so high that he can never live up to the expectations that he is supposed to be at quarterback?
I mean, He came in as the number 1 QB in the country out of the state of Arizona, and he had some initial success, but I don't think he was consistent enough. We'll see. I mean, I thought he had some bright moments, but in big games such as the Red River rivalry against Texas, he struggled and he lost the job. And let's not misunderstand something. I mean, I don't, even if Lincoln Riley had stayed at Oklahoma, once he lost the job to Caleb Williams, Spencer Rattler was moving on. I mean, but I think Spencer Rattler actually came in with a mindset last year, though, of going to the NFL if he had had a big enough year and been consistent and won the Heisman Trophy. But once you lose the job and you're not playing, trust me, you're not going to get drafted into the National Football League nearly as high as you think. So he's moved on. He's playing for a guy that, let's not forget, Shane Beamer worked at Oklahoma and knows Spencer Rattler well, helped recruit him there. I think that relationship played a big part in him ending up at Carolina. I am fascinated to see how good he is. And if you look it up there real quick, Scott, I know we've been talking about it. Doesn't Texas A&M play South Carolina this year? I was thinking that they played them early, but I haven't studied the schedules yet, to have them memorized. But I
can put that one up there on the list and see here. So you mentioned Texas A&M. They have Appalachian State, Miami, Arkansas, Mississippi State.
Okay, so it's not South Carolina.
Alabama, South Carolina.
I think
after the Alabama game in Tuscaloosa, that is part of,
right.
You could say, because that's why we said October 29th is their first true road. Well, that doesn't make any sense. The Texas A&M game, I said that's their first true road game, October 29th. That's not right because they go to Tuscaloosa. Okay, the Starkville game is their first true road game. But This is Texas A&M's schedule. You want to talk about answers. How are they going to perform away from Kyle Field? They get Sam Houston State to start in Kyle Field. They get Appalachian State in Kyle Field, and then Miami at Kyle Field. 3 home games to open the year.
Go Mario.
Then they go to AT&T Stadium for the Arkansas game.
That's what I was saying. That's at Jerry World. Let's go Hogs.
Then they go to Mississippi State.
Let's go Dogs.
Then they go to Alabama.
Roll Tide, 65-0.
Then they go to South Carolina.
So they do go to South Carolina later in the season. I just didn't know how early it was.
October 22nd.
Spencer Rattler, man, let's go. 450 yards, 4 touchdowns.
Jimbo Fisher is going to complain about this because September 17th, they will play at Kyle Field. Texas A&M will not return to Kyle Field until October 29th.
Who cares? He's got enough NIL money. Just get a collective up and buy you some private plane to fly around in, you clown.
Okay, so speaking of the Ole Miss, Brad Crawford says one of the questions we need answered, and you kind of alluded to this with Troy, how will transfer-heavy roster perform at Ole Miss?
Yeah, we don't know. You got to have chemistry. And then the team that's playing South Carolina second, Scott, at home, and that's the schedule that I had glanced at. I couldn't remember if it was A&M. It was not. We talked about them earlier in the show. Arkansas, Sam Pittman, they're going to play Spencer Rattler and the Gamecocks in the second week. So we'll find out about both those teams early. And then hopefully South Carolina will have it rolling by the time they play Dirt Neck, so they can beat them in Williams-Brice Stadium. With everybody waving the towels and and the pomp and the circumstance and the smoke and all that. I'm hoping by then A&M will be considered the biggest flop in college football, and he'll probably have half of his squad not wanting to play and just sit up in their apartments with their NIL money and just count it instead of actually competing.
All right, another question that he wants answered and is, are we underselling Florida and Billy Napier in year one?
Flying under the radar, I think. I think Billy's a really good coach. I'm going to be anxious to see his team. Certainly, it's hard to win a championship or win a division in year one because you're having to, trust me. Florida was I think the Florida ended up 7-6 last year. They weren't very good, so that's the reason Clown Mullen got fired, because he was too busy trying on Darth Vader costumes and not recruiting. And so Billy's having to fix the roster. There's no doubt about that. So so they're not going to be as talented probably as they need to be, but I think. With his ability as a coach and the staff that he put together, I think they're going to recruit very well. I don't think it'll take him long to make them a factor in this deal. I still think maybe I need to look at the schedule and analyze it a little bit better, but I would say he's still got a good shot to go maybe 8-4, 9-3 at best case scenario and finish second behind Georgia. I don't think he can beat Georgia because I think Georgia has the better roster. They've got the quarterback back. Kirby's recruited very, very well. They're the defending national champions due to injury. So, so we'll see. But I do think, and I'm always going to say that due to injury. I don't give a damn. I don't give a damn what any Georgia's fan says to me, because they know deep down. They'll come, they'll call and they'll bitch and and stuff like that and say you can't stop saying that, stop harping on it. But it's true. They did win it, and I said they earned it, and they really did. But it's always going to have an asterisk by it for me because of injury, because we know who the best team was when they were healthy, because they blew their ass off the field in the SEC championship game.
All right, that's hour one in the books. We got some more questions to answer into the new season. Plus, we'll hear from Butch Thompson. Auburn Tigers getting ready to head to Omaha for the College World Series. All that and more in hour two, plus your phone calls. 256-576-4977.
Did you know that your car, truck, or SUV may be worth over 30 or 40% more than it was last year? It's true. Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford, and we'd love your trade-in for a personalized custom factory order on a 2022 Explorer, Expedition, Ranger, or F1. We interrupt this message to announce our $1,000 appreciation cash reward. Attention all active military, reservists, retirees, and all veterans, plus first responders, police, fire department, EMTs, and medical professionals. An appreciation for making Huntsville the great city it is. You'll receive a $1,000 exclusive reward in addition to any public offers on most all 22 Fords. So please come see us today. Our Ford Gold certified or low mileage, gently used vehicles with great warranties. At Woody Anderson Ford, whether it's a new order or a pre-owned, we promise to always do the right thing. Corner of Jordan and Sparkman, hope to see you soon.
I'm here with Stan McDonald of the Stanton Law Firm. Stan, I guess you are the Stanton in the law firm.
Yes, Wes, that's me, and we started the Stanton Law Firm so that myself and 4 other attorneys with me can help clients litigate, negotiate, and creatively solve legal and real estate problems.
Now, Stan, you grew up on a family farm in this area and have made a name closing on houses and land with your closing company, Jacob Title.
I grew up on a farm which used to be in the country. That, plus having closed on so many homes and farms, one of my colleagues started referring to me as a classic dirt lawyer. Now, I didn't know how to take that at first, that tag, but I realized that's exactly what I do and what I am.
Dan, I know the attorneys at Stanton Law Firm are regular listeners, and we plan to have you on periodically. You and I have seen have impacted this community.
Stay tuned, and you may hear about friends like Steve Booker, Clarence Johnson, Thomas Boyd, and even a few of those offensive line hogs like Hoss Johnson, and maybe you remember some other of those guys too.
I remember Clarence Johnson. He beat us one year. He was unbelievable.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
The Atlanta Braves are back on the field, and this reloaded roster is fired up to defend their crown and run it back in 2022.
1-2 coming, crushed, left field, auto line, that ball is out of here. 2-run home run for Austin Riley.
Tonight, don't miss a minute of Atlanta Braves baseball from Washington, D.C. as the Braves square up against Juan Soto and the Washington Nationals. Braves radio's on the air at 5:50 Eastern, 4:50 Central on the Braves Radio Network.
WZZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A mostly sunny sky this afternoon. Once again, temperatures climbing into the mid and upper 90s. Heat indices somewhere between 105 and 110 degrees. Be incredibly mindful if you are out and about today and you do have to spend a prolonged period of time outside. Make sure to stay hydrated. An isolated shower certainly can't be ruled out across the Tennessee Valley. The best chance for that is going to be across northeast Alabama. Temperatures dropping into the mid 70s as we head into the overnight. A mostly sunny sky for your Thursday. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Heads up, sports bettors. Right now you can try VSiN All Access free for 30 days with no credit card required. Visit vsin.com/free month to sign up now.
The NBA Finals back in Boston for Game 6 Thursday night. The Warriors winning Games 4 and 5 to take a 3-2 series lead and a chance to end it tomorrow. They're a 3.5-point underdog against the Celtics. The over-under set at 210. Rory McIlroy, the current favorite to win the U.S. Open, getting underway tomorrow. McIlroy atop the odds board at plus 1,000 ahead of Justin Thomas at plus 1,200, Scotty Scheffler at plus 1,400, Cameron Smith and John Rahm each at plus 1,600. Stanley Cup Finals underway tonight. The Avalanche hosting Game 1 against the Lightning. The defending champs a plus 135 moneyline underdog on the road. Colorado minus 160. The over-under set at 6.
I'm Trey Westerberg, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Log on today, 977ESPN.com. Welcome to Talkin' Ball with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline now, 256-576-4977. That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Scott and Drew.
And just like that, hour 2 Talking Ball is underway. Scott Tyson, Drew DeArmond with you until 9 a.m. We are on the final hour of our Wednesday show. And to conclude hour 1, we were talking about some biggest questions surrounding the SEC this coming fall that may need to be answered. 256-576-4977. That is the number to the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. If you missed it in hour 1, you can recap our conversation with Troy head football coach John Summerall. We had that conversation in there as well in hour number 1. Some of those other questions that I did mention need to kind of maybe answer. Who starts at quarterback for LSU? Mysterious quarterback situation. Who starts there for Brian Kelly in that debut against Florida State?
Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting quarterback room. There's no doubt about it. Miles Brennan, it came back to LSU, and he's going to definitely compete, and no doubt about it. And as we know, I mean, they also have Doug Nussmeier's son, Garrett Nussmeier, there, who was a ballyhooed prospect. They were bringing in Walker Howard, Jamie Howard's son, who was a 5-star. And then, of course, we know they got the transfer from Arizona State, who did not have a good year last year statistically and kind of regressed a little bit. But Brian Kelly is known as a guy, Scott, that is quarterback friendly. He developed a lot of good QBs and offenses at Notre Dame. I think that's the aspect of him as a coach that I respect the most, is his offensive acumen and his ability to develop the QB position and put them in position for success. So LSU's, again, I think LSU and Arkansas are the two teams that are going to fight it out for second in the West.
All right. Can Stetson Bennett lead Georgia to a repeat national title?
I mean, it's possible. I don't think it's likely with all the talent they lost, but they've certainly recruited, at a very, very, very high level. And so I think, if all the pieces fell into place, I think so. But, I mean, I still think, if you ask me, I think it'd probably be about a 25% chance.
All right. And the last one is, will an angry Nick Saban run through the SEC, or does Alabama falter?
I still would take Alabama. I think they've got the best roster, but you never know because look how many injuries, happened last year. And it cost Alabama a national championship much like it did in 2016. Georgia certainly took advantage of that and earned their national title, the first one since the days of Herschel. And they can do away with the DVDs and the VHS tapes. But again, I mean, injuries can play a huge part in it. We'll see. That can if Stetson Bennett were to get injured for Georgia, he's played so much football that they'd be having to play a younger quarterback. That would be a problem. If Alabama, I said it last year, you lose Bryce Young. I know Ty Simpson's talented, Jalen Milroe, but Alabama. I don't think they'd even have a chance to make the playoff. You got to stay healthy, especially at the quarterback position. Whoever wins that job at LSU, whether it be, I still think it'll be either Miles Brennan or Jaden Daniels. I don't think it'll be the younger guys, Nussmeier or Walker Howard. But again, you've got to stay healthy at the quarterback spot. It's the most critical one.
So last season Georgia's defense really was a cog in them winning a national title.
It was very talented.
Very, very, very talented. Alabama's defense is right there this year, I think.
And they've got to stay healthy.
They got to stay healthy. But if Bryce Young is to miss a game or two, would it not feel like they'd be in that same situation as Georgia last year where you could just put a quarterback in there and let them kind of manage that game a little bit, use the talent around them, and that would be enough for Alabama?
I don't know. Probably so, but Milroe has very little game experience. It's kind of like the Blake Sims situation, but Blake ended up surprising a lot of people. We'd have to wait and see. And then Ty Simpson has none. I mean, except for since he enrolled early, he's scrimmaged. So you'd have very, very little experience. Paul Tyson's moved on to, ironically, Arizona State, where Jaden Daniels left. So we'll just have to wait and see. Even though Paul Tyson, the great grandson of Coach Paul Bear Bryant, great kid, covered him at Hewitt-Trussville High School, but I never thought he had the arm talent or the ability overall to lead Alabama to a championship. In his very brief playing time we saw, I think you realized that Alabama's offense would look a lot different. I don't think this was a Mac Jones situation where you had a superstar waiting for his opportunity. Now, in the future, could Jalen Milroe be a very effective player or Ty Simpson? Yes. But again, when you're talking about being thrown into the fire,
right,
and having to start in the after a guy like Bryce Young has taken the majority of the reps and has been counted on to be the man and won the Heisman Trophy last year, I do think that Alabama, even as talented as their roster is, it would be a huge blow that I'm not sure they could overcome.
All right, so those are some of the questions that have been thrown out there for this year's SEC football. If you have one on your mind, 256-576-4977. That is the number to the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. ESPN's Chris Lowe, who has sat down with pretty much every SEC college football coach over the time, sat down with Arkansas's Sam Pittman. And we've talked a lot about scheduling the last month because in the SEC meetings down in Destin, that was the big topic. Scheduling, which format to go to. Sam Pittman has weighed in on his format because we knew not every coach was in favor of the 1-7.
I'm sure
3-6.
not. I think it should be 3-6.
Which one do you think Sam Pittman would be more in favor of?
I would think he'd be in favor of 3-6.
Exactly. Sam Pittman, in his opinion, thinks the 3-6 format is the way to go because he wants to see Arkansas play Texas every year. Mm-hmm. He wants to see them keep Missouri on the schedule because that has turned into a great kind of rivalry game between Arkansas and Missouri. And he thinks that it would allow for more annual rivalry games to be played if you stayed with the 3-6 format.
I mean,
so there's one of the coaches that is in favor of the 3-6.
I'm not in favor of the 1-7 because if you do that, Alabama is not going to play Tennessee every year because you know they're going to play Auburn, and that's going to be the one consistent rivalry in state. Now, some of the Tennessee fans right now that have been beaten down for 15 straight years for about 30 points a game, they probably wouldn't mind it. Some of them would. Some of them would still want to play Alabama every year. It's a traditional rivalry.
Right.
But some of them, due to, I guess I don't know, because it's been so non-competitive, and it would allow them to rotate others on the schedule. They may have PTSD or something. I don't know, or because of the Alabama beatdowns, they may not like it. But again, and I don't think most Alabama fans would be in favor of that because Tennessee still, I know Alabama has dominated it, and it's not really a rivalry right now, but still a lot of tradition there. It's not played on the third Saturday in October every single day, every single year, pardon me. But again, it's still a game everyone looks forward to, when you see Tennessee and Alabama, those uniforms out on the field, there's a lot of tradition. So to me, that's why they need to play the 3-6 because Alabama-Tennessee needs to be something, they're a rivalry that is played every year.
All right, so count Sam Pittman in that group of 3-6. Does Arkansas, I mean, you look at the schedule this year for Arkansas, that is brutal.
I told you, the first month is really difficult.
For Arkansas. I mean, I know Sam Pittman wants the 9 conference games, but after this year, you think he'll keep his mind and want that? Or
we haven't really talked about it a whole lot.
Inner Jimbo Fisher and keep those non-conference games in there.
We haven't said much about it as far as the kickoff game or a first week, but that game against Cincinnati is a big one because Luke Fickell's team is coming off of their first college football playoff appearance. He's built a very consistent program there. He stayed at Cincinnati when a lot of people, including our good friend Rico Beard, including us, thought he might go to Michigan State and be the guy instead of Mel Tucker, but he decided not to take that job. I still think he should be the Ohio State head coach and not Ryan Day. Everybody talks about Ryan Day. They act like he's an elite coach, which kind of puzzles me because I know he's been to the college football playoff, but usually when he goes to the playoff, they get throttled.
You wouldn't put Day as an elite
Not
coach
elite yet. I guess you could say a really good coach. He has reached the playoff. Hell, but, last year
more elite, Ryan Day or Luke Fickell?
I like Luke Fickell better. I think he's done it at a place where it's not as easy. He got them to the playoff. He got Cincinnati there. But I will say this, when you look at it, you're only as good as your last rivalry game, and Khaki Pants, ran it up his rear end and handed Ohio State their butts last year. So Michigan finally broke that streak. Harbaugh won that game. I'm going to be fascinated to see, with C.J. Stroud, everybody's touting him for the Heisman, maybe the number 1 overall pick in the draft. How good is Ohio State going to be? They were not good on defense last year, Scott. They were really soft. And I think they're soft because Ryan Day throws the ball 50 times a game, okay? To me, I think it's Ryan Day's style of coaching. He's a quarterback. It's just like he's like the Midwest version of Lincoln Riley, okay? Lincoln Riley, even though Lincoln's teams, I think they actually run it a little bit better than Ohio State, and he's had some really good offensive lines. But Lincoln's an offensive guy, and in Oklahoma, his Oklahoma teams were soft on defense. I'm going to be really interested to see how USC looks defensively. But, of course, we know the Pac-12, barely any of them play defense. They're allergic to it. But, again, what is USC going to look like? I think Brent Venables, that's the first thing you're going to notice about him as a head coach.
Right.
Is OU is not going to be soft anymore. They're going to be able to play defense and tackle because I never thought Lincoln's teams could tackle. I always thought, they were soft as butter. I'll still never forget in 2018 in the Orange Bowl against OU, Alabama played those guys in the semifinals. Josh Jacobs was out for blood. He ran through them. And Lincoln's retort was Alabama got up 28-0, if you remember that. and basically
I was there at that game.
I was going to say
Yes.
you covered it.
Yes,
We see on the camera there you several times. You've worn your Nike your pullover. You got the last pullover, I think, as you were able to go over there and cover that game for us at 97.7 The Zone. But Alabama ran away and hid, and then Lincoln's reply was, "Well, we outscored them in the second half. Who cares? You lost. You're going home. You didn't win the national championship. We know Alabama lost to Clemson later, to Dabo, and Dabo won his second national title. But again, Oklahoma was soft under Lincoln. I'm anxious to see what happens with him with the Trojans.
All right, so you mentioned that schedule for Arkansas. They opened up, you mentioned, with Cincinnati in Fayetteville.
Right.
But then they host South Carolina.
Another difficult game. We really don't know how good South Carolina is yet.
Then they host Missouri State. Then the gauntlet is they have Texas A&M neutral site, Alabama at home, at Mississippi State, at BYU, at Auburn, Liberty, LSU, Ole Miss, and Missouri.
Yeah, there's really no weak sisters on that schedule. So if Sam Pittman can go 10-2 or 9-3, I'll just go ahead and stamp it, even if Nick Saban is undefeated, and I wouldn't be surprised if he is. And if Alabama has, I'm not going to say blown everyone out, but established themselves as the team to beat in the SEC going into Atlanta, I would still vote Sam Pittman Coach of the Year, especially if they get to double-digit wins in the regular season with that kind of schedule, and he beats Dirt Neck for the second straight year.
All right, coming up here in just a little bit, Brian Matthews will join us, and we're going to flip the script and talk some Auburn baseball. The Tigers getting ready to head to Corvallis, and Butch Thompson here real fast. Let's hear from Butch to kind of set the stage for the conversation.
It's national championship or bust. It's not. If you just play the Omaha game, get to Omaha, you can be like 19 or other times that I've been where it's like, 2 in a barbecue. So you at some point in time you have to move your program to start really envisioning the thing that I've been saying this whole time. It's my Les Brown quote: "People don't fail because they aim high and miss. It's because they aim low and hit." I need to make sure I don't underscore the potential of this team of what I saw this weekend. So, only one team's going to stand up winning the last game. But I do think it's my job. If I represent Auburn University and I represent an SEC baseball team and I got a team that just played like that this weekend, the season could end next weekend. But for me to not aim high for our program and start having our guys to envision a national championship, I'm selling our people short and the potential of our program short.
That's Butch Thompson going into the College World Series. His thoughts there, not backing away from saying we want.
Well, amen. Anybody can win it when you get to Omaha, man. Look, it's going to be really interesting. They've got a fascinating matchup with Ole Miss, who's now as hot as anyone. You could say Auburn and Ole Miss may be the two hottest teams in college baseball. I don't know. I know Ole Miss wasn't expected to be there because they were basically the last team in the field. Auburn had a really tough regional, as we talked about on paper: Southeast Louisiana, UCLA, Florida State. I don't think anyone was surprised they won it, though, at home. But they went on the road to Corvallis, Oregon, a very difficult environment, the number 3 national seed, and they win 2 out of 3. And their bullpen throws the ball really well. If Mississippi State can get hot and win it all the way they did last year, then certainly Auburn can do the same thing. Auburn swung the bats really well, for 3 games in their regional, for a weekend, and then they went and basically played really well in a difficult environment across the country. I guess they didn't get back until midnight last night, so that takes a lot out of you as far as having a trip to the West Coast. It's not easy, but they handled it exceptionally well. They're extremely well coached. I think the world of Butch Thompson. I think he's an outstanding baseball coach. Gabe Gross does a great job with the hitters. Tim Hudson with the pitchers. Carl Nonamaker recruiting. He's a guy that's an old hand SEC assistant. So they've got a really good staff at Auburn. And if you get to Omaha, you might, win the whole thing, man.
Right.
That's the goal. It's not to, okay, we're going to Omaha. We're going to
be just happy that you're getting there. Hey, we made it.
Yeah, we're going
great.
to eat a pork tenderloin sandwich, and we're going to just experience the
Go
atmosphere
see the zoo and be gone.
And then he used the old Mike Martin quote. Mike Martin came up with that at Florida State, the longtime coach at FSU, who unfortunately got there many times, played in the finals, but never won it, is O2 barbecue. You don't want to go O2 barbecue. You want to continue to compete and win. And, the first thing you got to do is win game one. And it's going to be 6 o'clock, I believe, Central Time on Saturday. They're going to take on Mike Bianco's Ole Miss Rebels. And so the team that wins that game, they may be flying a little under the radar. But, again, you're only I guess the best way to put it would be 5 wins away from a national championship. So if you stay in the winner's bracket, I think it's 3 wins to the final, Scott. So taking that first step and getting win 1 would be huge.
All right, so you mentioned it. Yeah, Auburn got in late yesterday from Corvallis. They leave today at 1 o'clock to head to Omaha. And speaking of Omaha, when we come back, Brian Matthews will join us as we preview the Tigers' journey to the Midwest for the College World Series.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A mostly sunny sky this afternoon. Once again, temperatures climbing into the mid and upper 90s. Heat indices somewhere between 105 and 110 degrees. Be incredibly mindful if you are out and about today and you do have to spend a prolonged period of time outside. Make sure to stay hydrated. An isolated shower certainly can't be ruled out across the Tennessee Valley. The best chance for that is going to be across northeast Alabama. Temperatures dropping into the mid-70s as we head into the overnight. A mostly sunny sky for your Thursday. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
The best place to get 50s diner-style homemade delectables is Bubby's Diner. Located at 8412 Whitesburg Drive Southeast, try their all-new expanded breakfast menu with homemade waffles, omelets, and shrimp and grits. With 3 generations of experience, Chris Bubby Belcher has the best burgers in town. Don't forget to leave without a homemade pie or a hand-spun milkshake. Get a $50 gift certificate for $25 right now at Bubby's Diner, home of the donut burger.
Ann Adams with Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate is the one name to know if you're buying or selling real estate. With years of local experience, Ann Adams offers buyers in-depth knowledge of the local housing market and will narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in so you can save time when shopping for your new home. If you're ready to sell, Ann offers a seamless process using accurate pricing and expert negotiation skills to make sure you get a fair price for your home. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or log on bhhsriserealestate.com.
Whoa, Greg's up.
He's never up this early.
Hey, guys. Okay, so this is called the Bell Breakfast Box from Taco Bell. Oh, thanks. I can read.
And that's a coffee. Helps you open your eyes.
And that's a breakfast burrito. You can start from either end.
You guys always this condescending in the morning?
Pretty much.
Wake up with the new $5 Bell Breakfast Box, filled with a grande toasted breakfast burrito, hash brown, 2 Cinnabon Delights, and a coffee. At limited participating Taco Bell locations near you during breakfast hours only. Contact local store for prices, hours, and participation, which vary. Tax extra. Drinks excludes freezes.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
Outdoor season is coming. Can't wait.
Here at Brooks & Collier, neither can we. Outdoor season is also grilling season.
And we have plenty of grills and smokers in stock from Traeger, Blaze, and Big Green Egg.
There's the greenhouse, new indoor items and home furnishings as well.
Whatever it takes. Browse over 2 acres of furnishings. Can't wait.
How about you? North Alabama's indoor and outdoor living headquarters for over 75 years.
813 Meridian Street and at brooksandcollier.com.
Local sports is covered right here.
Well, appreciate what you guys do for sports, but also for high school sports and taking time to talk to us. That means a lot, and appreciate what you guys do, and appreciate you having us on.
97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This is Steve Moulton from The Drive. Join us this afternoon from 5 to 7 with Wes Neighbors and me. Now back to Talkin' Ball with Scott Theisen and Drew DeArmond on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Welcome back, Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN The Zone. As we played a little bit there, Butch Thompson talking about the Auburn Tigers headed to the College World Series. In fact, they got in last night around 10. I said midnight. It was around 10, a little after 10. It was dark still. But they will leave today around 1 to head to Omaha, Nebraska for the College World Series. Second time in 3 seasons that they've played.
Yeah,
baseball.
because the COVID year was cut short.
That Auburn is there in Omaha. And, you hear a lot, especially on social media, and you look around in Twitter, Drew, and there's a lot of talk that, we talk about all the SEC coaches that have made their way to Omaha, that have taken teams to the College World Series. This is 2 trips now for Butch Thompson and the Auburn Tigers as head coach. It's about time that we probably start putting him up there as one of the top coaches, upper half coaches in the SEC.
Yeah, no doubt. He's done just an amazing job. Like I talked about the coaching staff as a whole. What a bounce back year. The pitching injuries kind of robbed them a year ago, but they certainly got back on track. They used the transfer portal as well as anyone. Sonny DeShera, co-SEC Player of the Year, the huge home run in the deciding game for Auburn to win 4-3. What a performance by that bullpen. What a performance by Auburn baseball. And now they've got a great chance. They're 5 wins away from winning a national championship. And we're going to talk about that with our next guest, who hopefully will be going to Omaha. I think I've never been. It's a bucket list thing for me. I hope to get a chance to, cover some games in Omaha, Nebraska one day. But the Auburn Tigers going, and Brian Matthews, since 2001, covering the Auburn Tigers from AuburnSports.com, part of the Rivals Network, is with us on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. Brian, good morning. How are you?
I'm doing great, and appreciate you having me in. I will not be going this year. I went 3 years ago, and we're sending Stoltz this year. I'm going to be here covering from the house.
Well, let me ask you that, though. How was it, though? It just seems like Camelot to me for a college baseball fan, TV Ameritrade. How was it? How was the experience covering it?
Oh, it was great. Auburn went 2-0, but it was still a great experience just to go up there and cover that and be a part of it, for the first time in my career. And I'm glad Stoltz and some more people are getting a chance to do that, this upcoming weekend.
Yeah, and you mentioned that trip before that came a couple years ago, Auburn going to Omaha. They made quick work of regionals and super regionals that year to get to Omaha. But when they got to Omaha, Brian, they were banged up. They were not the
Tanner
same
Burns
unit.
wasn't healthy,
yeah, they
right.
were not the same unit. Obviously, this team is heading into Omaha relatively healthy, relatively good, and there's expectations, I think, this time around heading to the World Series.
Somewhat. I think this team expects to go there and compete, right? I think that's been their goal all year. When you look at the field, though, I think Auburn's going to be an underdog again. They'll be one of the teams that, not many people will pick. Even though there's only 2 national seeds left, I think, Texas A&M and Stanford. But I do think this team believes in themselves a lot and feels like they can go up there and beat anybody. And that's going to have to start with Ole Miss, a team that they played at home to start SEC play, lost 2 out of 3. But that was a long, long time ago, and a lot has changed since both teams, really.
Yeah, Brian, that's a great point. See, we just talked about that before you came on. We were looking back at the schedule, and that was the first SEC weekend. It was at Auburn at Plainsman's Park. It was 3 high-scoring games, a lot of runs scored, but Ole Miss wins 2 out of 3, and I think Ole Miss has won maybe 6 of the last 7 against Auburn. But baseball, especially, even more so than basketball and football, is a marathon, not a sprint. Teams can change so much, injuries, things of that nature. I don't think you can take too much from that series with Auburn and Ole Miss early in the season to start SEC play.
No, I agree. Ole Miss, won that series, but then played really poorly the first half of SEC play. I think they were number one at the time when they played Auburn, and really they were coming down the stretch. Not even sure if they're going to make postseason play. So they've come on strong too and really heated up. So, and of course we've seen what Auburn did. And this is really two of the hottest teams in the country, to be honest, right now.
That's what I said.
Going head to head in this first game.
Well, and Brian, to me, I made this statement just a few minutes ago. This is huge because and I loved what we played Butch Thompson's comment. You're going there to win a national championship. You're not going there to eat a pork tenderloin sandwich and take in the atmosphere and and walk around TV Ameritrade and be a tourist. You're trying to win, and winning that first game is huge because really the first two for me, because you need to stay in the winner's bracket in order to get to that championship series.
That's right. What it is just another regional, right?
Right.
And then that championship series is another super regional. And the key to winning any regional is winning those first two games, so you don't have to come out and lose the bracket and play potentially 4 or 5 games. It makes a huge difference. So, it'll be key, but Auburn's probably going to have to, in order to do that, they may have to win, a game against Ole Miss, one of the hottest teams in the country, and then maybe against Stanford, the highest remaining national seed in this tournament. So it's not going to be easy. I think Stanford plays it's not Texas A&M, but it's the other SEC team up there.
Yeah, Arkansas, right?
Yeah, Arkansas. So, one of those two teams is up next for Auburn, either in a loser bracket or winner's bracket. So they're going to be two really, really tough teams, those first two matchups.
Yeah, that SEC West is pretty good.
Brian, you look at that Oregon State series, and Auburn made quick work of their regionals this year. They get out there to Oregon State. Oregon State, the number 3 national seed in this tournament. What kind of questions did Auburn answer in your mind in beating Oregon State?
I thought the biggest takeaway from that series is Auburn just found ways to win. You look at Monday night's game, they only had 3 hits, but managed to score 4 runs. They took advantage of every little thing that they could take off Oregon State. A terrific squeeze bunt there for a run. Sonny DeShera, they gets a walk in front of him, hits that 2-run home run. Bobby Pierce had that big double to move the runners over and put them in scoring position. So it was just a team that executed really well. And then the story of that game was Blake Burkhalter, going 2.2 innings. He hadn't gone over 2 innings since April 2nd. He'd given up, I think, 5 total runs in his last 3 outings, and he was perfect. 8 got spaced, 8 retired, 5 strikeouts. He really got on that mound and really took Auburn to Omaha.
I thought the bullpen as a whole was the story and the reason Auburn won the series, Brian.
Yeah, you go back to Saturday's game. Tommy Sheehan came in there, and Auburn, Trace Bright knocked out 4 runs in the first inning, and Sheehan settled it down, allowed them to come back and tie that game and eventually take the lead. And then Skipper was able to, pitch another, I think it was 3 innings Saturday, and then come back and pitch 2 innings Monday. So he was a big part of that too. So I agree, the bullpen was terrific up there in Corvallis.
And I thought defensively they were good. I know Gonzalez had the one throwing error, but they didn't give Oregon State anything. And, of course, Oregon State made the one push in Game 3, had a chance after the wild pitch to get a base hit to take the lead 5-4. But as you said, Burkhalter was tremendous, throwing in the mid-90s. Really is, I want to say, maybe even touched 96, 97. He had really nasty stuff on Monday.
Yeah, he did. He was doing a great job hitting the corners and just really dominated that lineup. I thought the night facing the top of the order, that had been so dangerous for them, those first 3 batters. Plus, if they got somebody on, you're facing the Pac-12 Player of the Year, and he just set them down, 1, 2, 3, getting that strikeout to end it. And it was a terrific celebration they had right there on the mound, too, right afterwards.
No question. And in your mind, as this Auburn team goes to Omaha for the second time in 4 years, really 3 considering the COVID year was cut short, much healthier as we've already talked about on the mound. Do you anticipate Coach Thompson staying with the same rotation that we've seen in the regionals and the super regionals, and also in the lineup hitting wise? Auburn didn't swing the bats quite as well in Corvallis, but I think the arms of Oregon State had a lot to do with that. How do you see maybe this Auburn offensive lineup matching up with Ole Miss, because they did score some runs in that series back in in March?
They did. They got to get Blake Rambush going again. At top of the order. He was, I think, 0 for 12 in the super regional, but he's been one of Auburn's best hitters, leadoff guy, and table setter. So that'll be big for them. I do. We'll talk to Butch here in about 3 or 4 more hours, but I do think they're going to go with the same rotation and throw Trace Bright right back out there. He's been the guy for Auburn early on and throughout the season, and I know he got knocked around a little bit there early, but that was a really, really tight strike zone that I think really affected him.
I know there's
Oregon State in the opening game.
I know there's been a lot of coaching going on in college baseball, a lot of great surprises. Butch Thompson should be considered for National Coach of the Year. I mean, this Auburn team was projected to finish in the bottom half of the league, and here they are in Omaha.
Yeah, 13th out of 14 teams in the postseason. I mean, the preseason poll, and they outplayed that. Absolutely, and they're certainly a team that has really risen above expectation and overachieved. I feel like, but I don't think they feel like that yet. I think they've had the attitude all year that they can play with anybody, beat anybody, and they're just not going to be satisfied. So. Well, we'll see. I would expect them to be very competitive again. I would expect close game against Ole Miss and either Arkansas or Stanford in Game 2, and we'll just see how it plays out. It should be 2 really good baseball games.
It really should, no doubt about it. And then, of course, they play at 6 o'clock on Saturday night. And I think some of these guys going through the experience back in 19, I think that's going to help Auburn as well, and the coaching staff, because if you've experienced it one time, I think Coach Thompson set the tone after that win on Monday, saying, look, guys, we are coming to win a national championship. We're not just coming over there to experience the stage of the College World Series. You've got 4 SEC teams in it, all from the same division, Brian. Showing what a grind it is. It's very hard to get to Omaha, but again, we saw what Mississippi State did, kicking the door in last year. This is a great opportunity for Auburn.
It is, and to be honest with you, I don't think there's any team that I would call an overwhelming favorite. But that team got knocked out in the Super Regional at home, which I think a lot of people took joy in. To be honest with you, so I think this is a wide open College World Series. I think any team there could win it, and Auburn's one of those teams. They just got to get hot there, and Auburn's going to have to get their bats going again, and they're going to have to keep that bullpen performing well. They're going to have to get a little bit better start pitching than they did in Corvallis. But all those things have happened before, and they can happen again. And we'll just see how things turn out starting Friday night, and Auburn plays, I think, 6 o'clock Saturday.
They do, and one thing too, Brian, is I will say this: even if they stay with the same rotation and say they don't get a great start, with the depth in this bullpen, they still got to feel pretty confident.
Yeah, I mean, they've gotten a lot smarter with their pitching staff, as the season gone on, and that makes sense. They get used to guys and understand their limitations, and they did a great job getting Trace Bright out of there before the first ended. I know he gave up 4 runs, but they went to that bullpen. The bullpen did its job, and Auburn was able to come back and win. I think that was it's been over 20 comeback wins so far this season. I don't know the exact number now, but they've done a terrific job. They know Trace usually only goes 4 to 6 innings, even when he's on, so that bullpen will be ready to go. And I'm sure if Auburn's in the lead, you'll see Skipper and Burkhalter one more time.
Well, good stuff there. Auburn headed to the College World Series. Should be a fantastic time there.
Yeah,
in Omaha.
As we said, in the 4-team pod in that half of the bracket, it's 3 SEC West teams. It's Auburn, it's Arkansas, It's Ole Miss. Auburn and the Rebels will hook up again for the first time since the first SEC weekend. The Tigers getting the chance to maybe get some revenge there. It's going to be 6 o'clock on Saturday. AuburnSports.com, part of the Rivals Network, going to have full coverage. And, Brian, let everybody know how to connect with you and all you guys over there. I know you're very excited to cover this event. You're still going to be covering summer camps, Auburn football, recruiting, and, of course, Bruce Pearl bringing in some five-star prospects as well in hoops. So a lot going on.
Yeah, Kwame Evans Jr. just left his official visit, and we got that story up already. I think he's a five-star
he is.
center.
Mm-hmm.
So that's another big update for us. And there's a big camp here later today I'll be at. Baseball team leaves about 12:30, so I'll be able to talk to Butch Thompson, a couple players. And then Auburn's going to have some more official visitors in this weekend. So it's going to be really, really busy at AuburnSports.com. Follow me on Twitter at BMattAU.
Thank you, Brian. We always appreciate your time.
Hey, appreciate having me.
Yeah. Well, I was going to try to get in there. I was going to ask him how busy of a weekend, though, is it? For Auburn. I mean, we talked. It is a busy weekend for Brian Harsin. I'd imagine and company bringing a lot of guys in.
A lot of recruiting going on at Auburn.
All right. Let's get a break in. When we come back, we're going to wrap up hour one, or wrap up the show on Talking Ball.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A mostly sunny sky this afternoon. Once again, temperatures climbing into the mid and upper 90s. Heat indices somewhere between 105 and 110 degrees. Be incredibly mindful if you are out and about today and you do have to spend a prolonged period of time outside. Make sure to stay hydrated. An isolated shower certainly can't be ruled out across the Tennessee Valley. The best chance for that is going to be across northeast Alabama. Temperatures dropping into the mid-70s as we head into the overnight. A mostly sunny sky for your Thursday. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
If you need a car, McCurry Motors is ready to put you in a quality vehicle, and in-house financing is available. If you have a job, McCurry Motors will work with you even if you have a bankruptcy, divorce, or bad credit. Visit McCurrySaysYes.com. Every car comes with a warranty, and they report to the credit bureau. With 2 locations, Highway 72 in Athens, call 256-230-0232, or Max Luther Drive in Huntsville. Call 256-713-0575.
Normally, when you call a roofing company, all you hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Since 1965, the folks at Fleming have been focused on what you need, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement, commercial or residential. And when it comes to storm damage, you want Fleming on your side. They know all the ins and outs of insurance claims and will guide you through the entire process. Log on FlemingHSV.com and book your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
SportsMed is the official team physicians of the Rocket City Trash Pandas. And if the pros trust SportsMed, you can too. SportsMed provides every service you might need for complete orthopedic care, specializing in orthopedic surgery, sports medicine, joint replacement, spine surgery, neurosurgery, and podiatry. And they offer their own brace shop, in-house full-body MRI, physical therapy, walk-in clinic, and so much more. 4 locations and on the web at sportsmedalabama.com.
In 1982, Bob Baumhauer introduced Alabama to the Buffalo Wild Wing, and quite frankly, we've never been the same. Back then, it was Wings and Things in Tuscaloosa, but now, 40 years later, after 4 name changes, Baumhauer's Victory Grill is the #1 sports-themed restaurant in the state. Bob's Alabama Hot Chicken is something that has to be tried to believe, plus the new Bam Bam Chicken and the Louisiana-style Go Fish, a whitefish over rice topped with shrimp etouffee. And Baumhauer's is fighting inflation with some new affordable favorites. Visit Baumhauer's on the South Parkway today.
This is Wes Neighbors with Philip with Eagle Insulation, and we have an announcement to make.
Yes, Wes, we are now Eagle Masonry and Insulation. We're still a place to call for your insulation needs, but now we offer masonry services.
What kind of masonry projects can you handle?
Wes, no job is too big, no job is too small. We can do renovations, new construction, outdoor fireplaces, fire pits, brick landscape borders.
Well, when you came out to my house, you did both the insulation and masonry at the same time. You guys did rock for me, you did brick for me, and you insulated my house. That's usually done at the same time that you're building a house.
Absolutely. It really capitalizes on 2 services you need at the same time, and you can get one company to handle both of those.
fill up with Eagle Insulation, will come out, do your installation. He'll do your masonry. They do a great job. They guarantee your work. Check out more online at insulatewitheagle.com and schedule your free examination today. 256-755-1556.
Thanks, Wes.
America First Alabama PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Dale Strong is wrong for North Alabama. Strong is wrong on monuments. As a county commissioner, Dale Strong broke the law when he moved a historic town square monument away in the dark of night. And then he used taxpayer money to pay for his fine. Strong is wrong on taxes. When the Alabama legislature rammed through the unpopular gas tax, what did Dale Strong do? Nothing. Even though Strong knew this was a bad deal, in his own words, he did nothing to derail it. Strong is wrong for Congress. And what will North Alabama get out of Dale Strong as a congressman? An establishment insider and career politician who will not stand up for us and will join the Washington swamp. All these wrongs don't make him right. Strong is wrong on monuments. Strong is wrong on taxes. Strong is just plain wrong for Congress. On June 21st, don't make the wrong choice. Reject Dale Strong.
This segment of Talkin' Ball is brought to you by University Kia, the #1 volume Kia dealer in the state of Alabama. Located online at universitykia.com. It's time for tomorrow's headlines today with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
All right, welcome in. Talking Ball 97.7 ESPN The Zone. All right. Did you pay attention at all to the Women's College World Series, the Softball World Series?
I watched a little bit of it. It was basically the Oklahoma Invitational.
Right, okay. So we all know.
Glad to see Florida lose, though. Never disappointed in that.
We know that Florida and Oklahoma met each other, or Texas and Oklahoma met in the national championship game or the national championship series there. Well, there was some controversy that came out of the national anthem that is now affecting the Men's College World Series in Omaha this coming week. A Oklahoma fan, presumably, we assume, sang the national anthem during the Women's College World Series. Right after that, did a reverse, or whatever they call it, the reverse long
horns down.
The horns down gesture. Zach Collier is the guy's name. Actually, he's a Texas A&M graduate.
Mm-hmm.
Did the horns down.
Probably has dirt neck on his wall.
Anyway, of course, everybody caught it. Everybody saw it.
Yeah.
Mr. Zach Collier is supposed to perform the national anthem at the College World Series here in Omaha.
Well, he'll probably do it again. Texas is there.
No, he will not do it again because the NCAA has banned him or taken him off the lineup, telling him that he will no longer perform.
So he's not going to sing it because he
did
horns
the horns down sign from the women's
probably offended somebody.
It did. The performance of the national anthem, and I quote from the NCAA, says the performance of the national anthem during NCAA championship events is a solemn moment for reflection and a mutual respect for all championship participants and fans in attendance. Following his national anthem performance during the Women's College World Series, during which the performer inappropriately supported one participating team, taunted the other team, and disrupted participating student athletes and coaches by attempting to interact with them, he was asked not to perform during the Men's College World Series.
He played such a huge role in Oklahoma winning, and he just totally took the Texas ladies off their game, right?
Yep.
This is why the NCAA is a bunch of dumbasses, because they don't allow any kind of, I know they want sportsmanship, but it's not like he flicked them off or, cursed them or anything like that. I mean, you're going just a little bit far. It's a little bit of gamesmanship and fun, okay? because he's a Texas A&M grad. Well, then you should have looked into it and realized where he went to school, okay? I mean, good Lord. But you're too busy out here, you're sanctioning that, and you're not getting NIL fixed, you bunch of clowns.
Yeah.
That's the problem with the NCAA. They look at the wrong things. Okay, it's just absolute stupidity. I mean, it's a free country, man. This is why gas is $4.49, because people are dumb. Okay,
He didn't say anything about Texas.
Yeah, he didn't say anything. He didn't do anything. But this is why this country is where it is today. They focus on the wrong things. It's stupidity. As stupid as our president. And yes, I just said it. Okay, I don't care. I mean, our president is clueless. I wouldn't vote for him ever. I mean, it's why the country is screwed up. It's why there's a gas crisis. It's why people are having to choose, either to buy groceries or buy gas. I mean, a head coach I know, he's a really good one in the state of Alabama. He filled up his truck yesterday, and he had to spend like $125+ on a tank of gasoline. That is asinine. Because of the leadership of this country. It's my political rant. It's over. But still, everybody knows what I think. I mean, right now, that's why we're in this situation, because people are focusing on the wrong things, and they're doing nothing but filibustering and BSing, and they're not getting things done to help this country and to help people. They're not. It's just a bunch of political mumbo-jumbo bullcrap.
All right, 256-576-4977. That's the number of the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline, and just had to throw that one in there. What is not is the Atlanta Braves. How about this?
Red hot.
13 games in a row. They polish off. They had 5 home runs for the second straight night in Washington. The Braves get it done again, 10-4. Over the Nationals. And just how hot is Atlanta right now? The Braves have won 13 straight.
Trying to set a record tonight, I believe.
It's the longest win streak by a defending World Series champion since the 1954 Yankees.
I mean, that's pretty good. I mean, they're trying to break that record tonight, trying to sweep the Washington Nationals in the Capitol. And they're swinging the bat so well. Scott, I mean, they've hit 10 home runs in the last 2 games against Washington. I think the record for a series is 11, and so they're trying to break that tonight. Harris, the rookie center fielder, continues to impress.
By the way, he is Major League Baseball's youngest player. He is 6 days younger than Wander Franco.
Wow. I mean, he's looked like a natural so far, like the second coming of Andre Jones. So what a job by Michael Harris, and what a job he's done.
Yeah. 11 of 26 in his last 7 games.
Right.
He's 11 for 26, batting .423, 3 doubles, a triple, 2 home runs, 2 stolen bases, 6 RBIs, and an .846 slugging percentage.
And a partridge in a pear tree.
He's
pretty much done everything. He's running the ball down in center field. And with him in center, Ronald Acuna in right, and then Adam Duvall in left, outstanding defensive outfield. Lieutenant Dan Dansby Swanson, he'd had another big bomb last night, playing great defense at shortstop. They don't have and won't he's on the 60-day DL now, Ozzie Albies, but Arcia did a nice job at second base last night. He also hit a home run. Need to get Austin Riley's bat going, but d'Arnaud's been swinging the bat well. Contreras, their lineup right now is very, very dangerous, very, very deep. And the Atlanta Braves are playing as well as any team in baseball, and they've shaved, I think, 5.5 games off of that lead by the hated New York Mets.
Well, let's take a look at those MLB standings.
And they're headed to play your Cubs after wrapping it up today.
Yeah, that won't be much of a challenge. Chicago.
Cubs rebuilding.
Rebuilding, yeah. I mean, I talk about, Baltimore got off to a really slow start this year. They're 27-36. Kansas City's 20-41 as far as worst records in baseball go. Chicago's inching in on that. They're 23-38. We talk about how bad the Reds have been this year. The Cubs are inching towards that mark. 1-9 in their last 10 is Chicago. So don't expect too much of a push. I said it from the very beginning of June, and that was Atlanta needed to take advantage of the schedule in June because what was in front of them were very, very, very winnable ball games. I mean,
and that's what they've done. They've beaten the ball clubs they need to beat.
Yep. You had series with Washington. You had series with Pittsburgh. There were teams that were well below 500, and the Braves needed to take advantage of that, and they have.
In Colorado as well.
Yes.
They beat Colorado. Now they need to take care of the Cubs because when they return home, you're talking about it's going to be the Dodgers and the Giants. So that's going to be some huge tests right there, even though Pittsburgh recently swept the Dodgers. So, and everybody knows what a huge Dodgers fan I am.
You love the Dodgers almost as you love Dirt Neck.
Oh, yeah. Love him. He's probably a Dodgers fan.
Oh.
Wouldn't be surprised.
So we mentioned you mentioned the Rockies, the A's, the Pirates, and the Nationals. The Braves have yet to lose in the month of June. They are perfect in the month of June so far.
And since Harris was called up and basically started playing in center field, I think that now that they won last night, I think they're 14-3 since he joined the ball club. So he's definitely provided a spark, Michael Harris.
Yeah, so it's they got the Nationals tonight. They'll have an off day on Thursday, Friday and Saturday, Sunday in Chicago. And then it's back home because next Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, it's the Giants, followed by a Friday, Saturday, Sunday series with the Dodgers. So the schedule there at the end of June gets a little tougher, and then they can outdistance themselves. The Phillies have been playing better as of late. That's how the Braves will close out the month of June, is with 3 games against the Phillies.
Well, everybody, we'll continue to talk about it and promote it, but Saturday, Baumhauer's our great sponsor. Come see John Summerall, Grissom grad, the entire Troy Trojans athletic department, all those folks, Scott Cross, basketball coach. We appreciate Coach Summerall joining us today to talk about the Troy Trojans tour, and we also appreciate Brian Matthews, Auburn Sports, talking some Auburn baseball as they head to Omaha. They will leave today at 12:30.
All right, guys, that's going to do it. Make sure you download the app today, 97.7 ESPN. Just search for it in your app store or marketplace so you can take us 24/7. That does include tonight. Atlanta Braves, Washington Nationals, right here on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.